No face today, cause I'm just not in the mood. Um, Listen, this COVID-19 is exploiting the absolute worst of us. I'm not saying we need to rise above it, because honestly and truthfully, I'm telling you all, we're proving that we can't. Now, the best of us, we're staying inside to the best of our capabilities. If we go out, we take as many safety precautions as possible. That's what we do because we know how to beat it. It's one thing, knowing to stay safe and stay inside. That's exactly how you kill the virus. This is war. That's what this is. This is war. And when you are in war and you want to win outright, and you don't, you want to win almost unchallengeably, you take out water supply, food supply. You take out the best warriors by any means necessary. And when they are in absolute turmoil and chaos, you take out their government best that you can. You hit the heart. You annihilate it. You make it your own. That is how you win a war outright. No BS, no politics, no money involved like that. It's not for money, it's not for oil. The idea is to vanquish your opponent outright. You don't play games. You don't talk about it for 4 or 5 months. You do it. You get it done. You bull rush it over. That's what it is. The object of a prolonged war is what we have. That's when there's money involved. And the loser is the one that says, I don't want to risk any more because I've lost too much. And they retreat. That's it. That's a prolonged war. We're in war with each other. We're in war with the government. We're in war with other countries. Every single one of them. But right now we're going to focus on the United States and China. No, not China, to all you little racist people out there. China. It ends with an A. China. And it's not America either. Have I rubbed everyone the wrong way? I hope so. Because no one thinks about rubbing anyone else the wrong way or hurting somebody else. It's just a bully mentality. I can hurt you, but you can't hurt me. I might say things that might hurt you, but you can never say anything that hurts me. Cowards. That's what they are. When it comes to this right here, what's going on? This right here ain't right. This should have been defeated ages ago. This should have been defeated so long ago. We shouldn't even known it existed. And in an attempt, that's what China did. But they did it the wrong way. They tried to save face. And that is their biggest disgrace. This started in China that we know of. That's all I can say, that we know of. That don't make it a fact. That don't make it truth. It don't make it the gospel. It just simply says all we know is that it started in China. It could have been blown in China from some other place. It could have been carried in from some other place. By a human, by trade wind, by anything. And it just happened to have started there. We don't know. But for all intents and purposes, everyone, it originated in China. That's all we can say for sure until we absolutely know. All right. China knew about it and they was covering it up. They knew that it was spreading. They knew that it was starting to get bad, but they didn't want to say anything because they didn't want to be embarrassed. They wanted to save face. And the ultimate goal is there was a pandemic here. We nipped it in the bud. We killed it. We stopped it from spreading to all of you. See how awesome we are in China? What has the U.S. done for you? That's something that might have happened. because, that's just the way people are. Now, they didn't stop it, because people who venture to other places constantly, they took it with them. I've already gone over that. No one else is going over that. Just me. You listen to anyone else, any other major news network, paid network, social media, the elites, anything. Nobody is covering that the well-to-do were the ones that contracted this and then flew to other places and then want to scapegoat, get out of there, thinking that they're going to be safe running from something that they've already contracted. I'm the only one saying that. Now, China's lies caught up with them. And they are honestly being disgraced. They are. But there's a level of hurting someone and getting revenge. There's that level where you cross that line. And now you become the antagonist instead of the protagonist trying to seek justice. And that's what the U.S. is doing. The United States. We're not America. We are the United States within the Americas. That's what we are. The United States. Could Trump have done better? Yes. But instead, what did Trump do? What did his ilk do? And ilk means his people, his supporters, and all this other stuff that are in higher powers. What did they do? When they learned of the virus, they said nothing to the U.S. people, residents, I might say. They didn't try to warn the rest of the world. No. Because China, hey, you know what? Toilet paper, paper clips, even toothpicks, paper, notebooks, all that stuff made in China. That's where it is. And they just started their stocks. They sold off their stocks knowing what was going to happen. People wanted those stocks bad because if you can buy them at a cheaper price, you can sell them at a massive price. And I ask you still, how does that affect everyone that's middle class and lower, that doesn't have 90% of their entire life tied up in stocks? How does that affect the prices at the grocery store and whatnot? And it does to an extent. To an extent. Very little. Prices go up on something, they want return on their investment. So the grocery stores and all their prices go up by a little bit, all right, just to circumvent that price difference. So inflation is controlled by the greed of people on Wall Street. Just, we don't benefit from it, just everyone else. Consumers don't benefit. Buyers and sellers benefit. The United States had the ability to blow the bullhorn. Because if I were in charge and I learned of this, there would be no selling of stocks and things like that. I would have honestly said there are no flights that are leaving or entering the United States, and any flight that is U.S. bound, you better find somewhere else to land. And if you don't, you will be blown out of the fucking sky. That's just me. And I know that's going to turn a lot of people off. But I would rather no one here get sick or ill and die in the hundreds or even the soon 100,000s maybe. Hopefully never gets that high. I would rather that than to say, well, come on in and just be safe about it while you've infected everyone on that plane, land, and everyone on that plane infect everyone that they're going to meet. Because that is exactly what happened. And I could have sworn that was almost a protocol of the United States. If there's a pandemic that is spreading, you close off ports and you seal this country up. But now, since that hasn't happened, since Trump's aid and administration and others are making money off of all of this, at our cost, at our death, you got to cover up for it. So now you want to say, hey, let's do a UBI of $1,000 an adult 500 per child. That's Andrew Yang's proposal. That's a good proposal. But the United States, they just trying to save face. That's all the government's trying to do. And they are exposing their racism. They're calling it the Wuhan virus, since it originated in Wuhan, China. They're calling it the Chinese virus. They're calling it everything they can, the communist Chinese virus, or the communist virus, the socialist virus. They are doing everything they can to label it as Chinese only, and that in of itself is outright racist. When you hear anyone calling it the Wuhan or the Chinese or whatever virus, when you got to label it by a nation or a people, that's racist. And if you're all right with that, you're racist. If you can't find something wrong with it and you claim to not be racist, you're a sociopath and you need to be kept inside, locked down, and never let out. Because you're that somebody that will allow the destruction of others just because you feel like it's all right and doesn't affect you none. Racism breeds destruction every single time. There is nothing apathetic or positive about racism. Nothing. Racism is outright negative only. And when you want to cast it on to everyone else and endanger the lives of American Asians and Asian Americans that are living here, lived here, or moved here way before the virus, when you do that, it's bad enough that they're already getting beat up, killed, ostracized, outcasted, just because they could be from Japan. They really could. They could have never been. They probably don't even know what China looked like, even on a map. They were just born here from maybe Japanese or Chinese or a mixture thereof, or even Chinese American, American Chinese. They could have been there just living here. And they are being picked on, bullied, and beaten up because of how they look. And that's why it's racist. When someone attacks someone based on their appearance, that's racist. Just appearance alone. It don't matter if they're fat, skinny, they look Asian, they look black, they look Latino. They're Latino people that might appear to look a bit Asian. And they are getting attacked. All right? And you think that's new? It's not. 30 years ago, this guy, I'm not calling out names, he's a wrestler. You know, he's from America Samoa, I believe. They was calling him the N-word because he's that dark, curly hair and all that. And nope, he's from the wrong space. He was like, he's from Tonga. So he was like, Tongan, you got the wrong kind, man. You got the wrong kind, back off, just chill. And the guy wouldn't leave it alone, kept calling him the N-word and all this other stuff. So this person got up and, you know, strangled him in a very unique way, like legit. And yeah, scariest moment for a lot of people, that was even bigger than this Tongan. But that's still happening today. And people's stupidity pits them against other people's stupidity. And instead of trying to end it, people prolong it. And that's why things aren't going to get better. Because nobody wants to listen. The government has earned your distrust, yes. And because of that, you don't do anything that your government's going to say. And yes, I do understand it. But you being a sentient being, you being supposedly a person of sound mind and body, you have the personal responsibility to use better judgment. Do I trust Trump and or any Democrat? No. No, I don't. However, it's a pandemic. It's out there. When people talk, there's a little bit of spit that comes out, the virus will be in that. The virus will be in the air if there are winds blowing. It's going to stay in the air for a while. But nobody wants to heed that. They'll go outside. Me, of sound mind, since I know that, keep my ass inside. Nobody else is doing that because they don't want to trust. And although everyone wants to stay inside and watch cat videos and other movies and social media and just chill with their friends and whatnot, you know, that's what they want to do. But now when it's best to stay inside, everyone wants to go outside. Like in The Walking Dead. I brought this up once before. Like in The Walking Dead. They were still in somewhat hopes of some kind of cure or something like that. And it's like, look, no, actually what was going on, there was a fight. And you know, we got the quote unquote good guys. We're like, hey, look, stop this. We can all work together. We can be peaceful. We can get things back to the way it was. We just got to stop this madness. And this guy simply says, well, he asked the best question. Do we really deserve a second chance? And that gave pause not just to the protagonist, but honestly, most likely to the audience. Do we deserve a second chance? Because I'm going to tell you, when you've got the Kansas flu, when you look that up, because that's the Spanish flu, but it originated in Kansas. But the Kansas flu, swine flu, bird flu, the super flu, which is also part of the swine flu, whatnot. This stuff happened and people slowly began to, at first died in droves, died not so much in droves. A lot died, but it was recoverable. Now we're at that point where it's something new again. We done had 3 or 4 major damn pandemics. We couldn't get it right at any given stage. We couldn't. We couldn't get it right in the early 1900s. Couldn't get it right in the mid to late 1900s. Couldn't get it right in the latter parts of the 1900s or the earliest parts of 2000s. Can't get it right on any given point. We know we're not going to get it right now. Maybe this is just our comeuppance because we just absolutely refuse to do the right thing for ourselves. We can't even do selfish right. So do we really deserve another chance? We've had so many. And I don't want anyone out there to die. No, I don't know. And I know what I'm saying. But damn it. It makes it a hard case to say we should live when we keep doing everything we can to die. Just think about that. We keep fighting so hard to die and blame somebody else for that. And our government has found a way to make sure that we all get messed up and blame China for it. Rightfully so, but the U.S. played its part. All China had to do was say something so that it could be stamped out properly. And all the U.S. had to do was instead of trading stock and selling stock, they should have owned up to us what was going on, inform us of how to stay safe, close the borders, make sure that no one like Donald Trump, because you know he hates a black man that much, he killed a program that was to get ahead of these viruses and then defund the CDC. That's what your beloved Donald Trump did. For you MAGA people out there. Saving face has been our biggest disgrace. I would like for you in the chat comments to let me know, down in the comment section, let me know. Why do we deserve another chance? We couldn't get it right the first 3. We're messing it up now. Why do we deserve anything better? This is a culling of the herd, everyone. That's what this is. It's been Cedric Kennedy for Comparative Reasoning. Thank you for listening.